Hey guys, and welcome to my top 5 beginner, mid-level or entry-level bosses. I was planning to make this video anyway, but I believe it was requested 3 or 4 times in my comment section. Now at number 5, to be expected, the King Black Dragon, being a free-to-play and pay-to-play boss. This boss is pretty damn easy and you only require around 40 to 50 combat stats, so a very nice boss to get into bossing with. Now, I do have a AFKing guide on this boss on my channel, but that's more focused to higher level players. But for the boss itself, all you really need is a super anti-poison and an anti-fire, or you want to be praying magic, and then you just want to go ham with your abilities. It's AFKable if you're a higher level, and if you're a lower level, you're going to be using some food. But all in all, with just a little bit of HP and fairly low boss stats or boss defense, you can easily take it down with tier 50 weapons. Now, the King Black Dragon doesn't really have any mechanics other than he has a special attack and a poison attack, but then the super anti-poison comes in so that you're pretty much immune to that. And, you know, the boss is just, it's easy, okay? If you are free to play, you have to enter the boss room place in the lava maze. Like, there's a ladder you go down and you can enter the boss room from there. If you remember, just teleport to Edgeville and activate the artifact very close to Lodestone, and then you can make an instance to kill the King Black Dragon. And at number 4, yes, I'm sorry, there's another free-to-play boss, being the Giant Mole, requiring around the same stats as KBD, but it has a little bit more annoying mechanics that can stun you and stuff. Now, the Giant Mole is located in the Falador Park, which is a pretty central location. I mean, if you teleport to Lodestone, it's just a 10-second walk to get to the boss room. Now, the boss itself is pretty straightforward. I do have a guide on the Giant Mole, which is actually focused towards free-to-play players, but you can use it as a member as well. Now, I do not suggest killing this boss, even if you want to get into bossing, as it's just horrible money per hour. Like, this boss is really bad, okay? The KBD is bad money, but it's acceptable, but the Giant Mole is absolute trash. So only really kill this boss if you are very low level or you want the pet. And now the mole goes from room to room, and he stuns you here and there with mud and rocks. And that's pretty much the mechanics summed up. Now at number 3, we have the General Grotto boss, also known as Bandos. This is where bossing gets interesting and starts to make you a little bit more money. Now, I have a full Bandos guide on my channel if you're interested, and I'll leave it in the cards section and the description below. Now, the Bandos boss can be killed with both magic and melee. The stats I recommend are 70 plus in either magic, defense, or strength, attack and defense. Now, the boss itself can hit pretty hard, and I always suggest you pray melee if you're low level, and for some reason if you're a higher level watching this video or you have curses unlocked, you can use soul split if you have a higher tier weapon to help you heal up a bit. Items like the Blood Fury or Blood Amulets are very useful here, and the Vampirism Aura or Penance Aura are also very useful items to use here. Now, you can actually kite Bandos, meaning that with magic, if you run around and spam your ability bar while clicking on a certain area on the floor, you use the ability but you still keep walking. This way you can avoid a huge amount of damage from Bandos, and you can last an hour trip here even at a low level, which is pretty damn nice. Sadly, you cannot really do this with melee, and you can't use ranged at Bandos. Now, if you're interested in this boss, go and check out my guide. This boss has around 3 mil GP per hour and very good combat experience. Now, if you have a bit higher stats and you've never bossed before, Vindictor is a great way to make money and to get into bossing as well. Before I start, please ignore the clip you see on screen as I'm failing miserably. I was kind of frustrated at the time of recording that clip. Now, if you want to know how to kill the boss properly, please check out my guide, which is in the description and cards section of the video. Now, Vindictor does require 80 plus stats at least, and maybe if you're a lower level or you're just very new to bossing, you want to go with a friend, and you should duo this boss. And it's still great money per hour if you do get lucky on a crest or a Dragon Rider Lance drop. Now, Vindictor itself has a certain attack rotation, but the main thing you want to be looking out for while killing Vindictor is definitely the purple fire made by the dragon or produced by the dragon called Gorvek. Now, if you stand in this fire, you will definitely get a lot of magic damage, and it stacks and stacks, and you just want to get out of the fire as fast as you can. A good way of doing this is by stepping to the side, obviously, or by using Surge or Barge on Vindictor. Now, the fight is pretty long as Vindictor has a lot of HP, and it can be quite a struggle if you don't know what you're doing. If you're using melee, always bring a shield along to resonance back some HP, as I also mentioned in my guide. I don't have an exact amount of money that you can make from a Vindictor per hour. The basic drops are okay, I guess, and you should be making 1 to 2 mil per hour at least. But if you get a drop, that obviously goes up, and the Dragon Rider Lance is around 35 mil, I believe, and a crest is around 14 mil. Don't quote me on that, but you can make really good money here if you're lucky. I myself got the pet, but I've never ever had a drop, which is pretty unlucky in my opinion because I have a few hundred KC. Anyways, moving on to the last boss. At number 1 we have Zamorak, also known as Krill, which is a boss you can actually AFK at around mid-level stats if you have the right items. Now Zamorak is just an amazing boss. Now I do have an AFK guide on my channel which is kind of focused to mid to high level players, but if you're a low level player that's getting into bossing, you can still use the guide somewhat. I might make a lower level guide in the future, without the AFKing part in it of course. Now Zamorak is very easy. With magic you can easily kill him, even at lower stats. You can make 3 mil per hour consistently, or around 2 mil if you're a bit lower level, from the Zamorak wines, which are very nice money per hour and they're always noted. And usually around every 1 hour or 90 minutes you at least get 1 drop. It all depends on your luck of course, but this drop can add up to money very fast, as drops are around 2 to 4 mil GP depending on what drop you get. The hilt being one of the lowest worth items, being around 900k. But the garbage subjugation, for example, is worth a lot more. Now the only thing you really want to remember while killing this boss is always bring super anti-poison potions, because he does poison you every few minutes or so, which is extremely annoying and the damage does add up. And the second thing is, especially if you're a mid-level player, do not ever pray here. As when you pray around halfway killing the boss, you use a special attack which can hit you around 5k plus damage. And you cannot block the damage, you can only have it by using the Debilitate ability, which you also unlock by killing bosses in Gold Rush Dungeon 1. And on that note, I'd say this video is kind of concluded and finished. Now for all these bosses, before you kill them, I highly suggest you watch my full guides on them to get more information and an inventory and gear setup on how to kill them efficiently. Because there's not enough information in these guides for you to go out and kill them. Of course you could, but you want to have more information because that way you'll have more kills per hour and you can last longer. Now I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
I'm never gonna stop, yeah. One shot, that's all you got. Take it right now, before you get lost, yeah. One shot, that's all you got. Write your own story, you control the plot, yeah. One shot, that's all you got. Could drop dead.